Tommy Rich at the home of Betty Holland in Salemburg, North Carolina, January the 28th, 2012.
My name's Thomas G. Rich Jr. I go by Tommy. Came to school down here in 1953, the fall of 1953, and went through high school. I graduated from high school down here in 1960. I went to junior barracks, stayed at junior barracks the whole time I was here. I was drill instructor my last 2 years of high school at junior barracks, and enjoyed my stay here. I just remember going home for the summer and then coming back in the fall in September. And just got to the first year I was here, I didn't like it because I was away from home, never had been away from home before. But after that, things got a little better, and I got more in with the people that I went to school with, and then later on, while I was still in school, being drill instructor for junior barracks. I always looked forward to the Mother's Day parade because I knew it was getting close to the time to go home for the summer. A day in the life of a cadet at junior barracks started in the morning. You'd rise in the morning, get dressed, and you'd march to breakfast. Breakfast was at the dining hall in Pineville. And we'd march to breakfast, and then they'd call us by squads to go in and line up and eat. And we'd have, each individual table would have their own prayers, the best I remember, the blessing. And we'd eat without doing a whole lot of talking. And once we got through, we could casually walk back to junior barracks and get ready for classes. And we'd get all our stuff, get ready for classes. And we'd meet in front of the barracks in formation, and we'd march to class. And have class from what time we got there and then till lunch. Then we'd have formation and march to lunch at the dining hall in Pineville. And then back to class. Till class ended that evening, we'd march back to junior barracks and get ready for drilling practice. And we'd do that every evening. And after that, we'd have a little free time, then we'd go march to supper and head back to the barracks after we got through eating. And later on, we'd have study hall, and you had to have certain grades. You could study in your room, or if you had less than that, you could study in the group. And backing up just a little bit, we always marched to chapel twice a week, and it was always on Tuesday and Thursday at the chapel. And we went to senior barracks, junior barracks, and the Pineville and Whitehall girls would go to chapel at the same time we would on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay. And church.
And we'd march to church on Sundays. We'd have Sunday school at junior barracks, and once we got through with Sunday school, we'd fall out in formation and march to church for the church services, and then we'd march back after church, and the rest of the time was just a regular routine as far as studying or times we went to eat.
Okay.
One of the highlights of my stay down here was the Mother's Day parade and May Day for the girls at Pineville. And when we got to be officers, from lieutenant on up, we could choose a sponsor for the Mother's Day parade. And we escorted those girls or ladies out on the parade field, and they were introduced as our sponsors. Mine was Jan Saul from Benson, North Carolina, and we had like I say, we had a good time looking forward to these Mother's Day parades. It was sort of a final thing for the school for the year, and we passed the review and stand, drill passed the review and stand, and honored all the mothers that were here, and just had a great time doing it. one of the highlights was the girls dressing up in their evening dresses and gowns, and and they had real big, wide brim hats, and it kind of resembled the people in Gone with the ladies in Gone with the Wind. As an officer, you got a saber, and you carried that saber while the other guys, students, or whatever, carried rifles. And you saluted with the saber rather than just the palm of your hand when you saluted. And as you passed the reviewing stand, you would salute with the saber and go past the reviewing stand with eyes right, and then you would face the front again and march off the drill field.
Okay.
Another one of the things that happened while I was here, in 1954, Hurricane Hazel came through. It came right through Salemburg, and it was on a Friday, and we were all getting ready to go home for the weekend. And the storm came through before our rides got here, and the ones that were left at Junior Barracks had to check the halls upstairs. We were all gathered downstairs, and one of the doors that went to the big back room had some glasses that were broke out of it. And we had to go upstairs and get a mattress and put against that door to keep the wind from coming in and blowing through the building. And while we were upstairs, you could run down the hall and look in the rooms and see sky between the ceiling and the wall. And that was kind of a scary time. We saw 10 roll up. We were looking out across the drill field over towards Senior Barracks, and we saw 10 roll up on the roof on Senior Barracks. And our ride came through after the storm and picked us up, and we were on the way home, which it takes about an hour to drive. And it took us about 3 hours because blocked down trees and blocked roads, we had to find other routes. And we got home, and about 5 minutes after the storm had gone through Raleigh. And it was a unique, unusual sight. I can't remember what year it was, but the swimming pools were built while I was here. While I was here, 2 swimming pools built side by side, and they were built out where close to the old gymnasium and the rifle range. And when the weather got warm enough toward the summertime, we could go swimming in the swimming pool. I can remember trying to get them cleaned out one year, and somebody had dropped a Coca-Cola bottle in the pool, and it went in the drain. And like an idiot, I dove down into the swimming. I didn't dive in, I jumped in, but went in the swimming pool, reached down in that drain to try to get that bottom of that bottle out, which I didn't know what it was. Pulled it out, but I got stitches in 2 fingers from that. But we got the swimming pool cleaned out where we could use it. And that's all I can think of right now. Okay, my recollection of the girls and boys seeing each other was at meals in the cafeteria. You'd see them, you could speak to them when they went by, but that was about it. The boys at Junior Barracks didn't date or didn't mingle with the girls at all. The boys at Senior Barracks, I think after the supper meal, a lot of times they would meet out in front of Pineland on the front porch or the steps and sit and talk and whatever.
Now you were in class with the girls, weren't you?
We were in class with the girls, and it was co-ed classes. We had classes, the high school classes were at EMI, Senior Barracks, or at Pineland, and the girls and the boys were in class together. From the time I came here to the time I left. But basically the boys at Union Barracks just didn't date, or the only time they got to see the girls was either in class or in the lunch line. And
the Junior Barracks boys went through the 7th grade, 8th grade?
The 7th or 8th grade, and then they would go to the Senior Barracks. And But like I said, my stay was the whole time was at Union Barracks, but I had a scholarship the last 2 years I was here and worked as a drill instructor.